The number one podcast.
Hi, everybody. It's Mark Messier, and you're listening to Blueshirt Underground Show, the number one Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in and find out all the latest news. Let's go, Rangers.
Blueshirt Underground, motherfucker!
Can't be as a Ranger fan. Can't be as a Ranger fan.
This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show pregame show sponsored by Funny Face Juice Mix. Today is Monday. It is May the 3rd, and Monday night Ranger video means one thing. Take it away, Eddie.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Rangers acting like Soup and Sandwich did in the Kentucky Derby. Going out to the front, challenging, and then in the stretch, dying, finishing 19th or whatever. Soup.
He just crossed the finish line 10 minutes ago.
Hey, like the great white horse, the Rangers fade. But what are you going to do? I know what you can do. You can scream and yell at us, because I got a lot to say. Also, the Rangers unable to win a big game if their life depended on it. We'll talk about that and my pending hernia surgery after this. I'm kidding. I'm not getting hernia surgery.
Lord.
But I should probably have my ulcer looked on after watching this team. Now over to Jed Spielberg, the king of all Ranger hockey.
Live from Shea Stadium, the 2-12 Bill Arnsparger New York Giants taking on the 2-11 New York Jets.
I salute to the Giants and Jets for giving some good draft picks. Hopefully, we'll see what happens.
Yes, the Jets finally, maybe finally have their man. Maybe.
Never. I just given up.
Happy birthday, Kevin Cosmo, you old son of a bitch.
Kevin Cosmo.
Celebrating birthday number 87 today. God bless you,
Kevin. Have a cosmopolitan on me.
So here we are, Ranger fans, on the precipice of death.
Doom.
We are dead man walking. Right now, we sit in the cell, and we have had our last meal, which was White Castle.
Losing served cold.
The Father Guido Sarducci is here reading us our last rites, and we will head for the table, and over the next 4 games, we will slowly take the needle.
Yes. All right, listen.
We will take 2 injections. I believe one will paralyze us. I think that's what the first injection does.
You're right.
And the second one will put us out of our 2021 misery.
Oh,
as
boy.
Ed says in the chat room, bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead.
I see that you got a picture of the great one there, Mark Messier. Is that?
Yes, he's behind me. I had to do. Let me give you a reason for this. Okay. Last week, as you know, the show cut off after 25 fucking minutes.
Oh, that was annoying.
And so what I have done is I have tried to make this broadcast as simple as possible on the fine folks in Yemen that run this godforsaken platform we are on, right? So I took out the background. We're not using their green screen technology. But behind me, our house is in a bit of is undergoing some renovation.
A transition.
So this room, right? Well, I don't like to use that word. That involves things getting cut off.
You're in a. Did you send out a letter to the home that you're rebuilding to the people at the?
You can make a hole, but you can't make a pole. So this room behind me, I had to do a little cleaning up. I moved the banner over, and then I'm like, I'll stick the Mark Messier picture here over my shoulder. Mark is smiling, laughing at obviously at the fate that behests, bequeaths, be something.
Be something.
The 2021 New York Rangers, who are approaching death slowly.
I mean, I think most of us saw this coming way before this final death knell.
I'm already loving the comments.
Yeah, listen, the fans have a right to be upset. You know, I don't. But if the last time we were on, I was very happy, and not just because of the winning, because I was very pleased the way that the youth had performed this year, and I still am of that feeling.
Yes. And quite frankly, I want the youth of this team to get away from the so-called leadership on this team before they pick up any bad habits.
There's a severe problem with that top six not showing up in big games. There's a big problem. Larry Brooks actually wrote about it, I think today or yesterday.
He did.
There is a disconnect between the coach and those guys. I don't know what it is. But I've seen it in the bubble playoffs last year, total no-shows. I think every big game this year, it was a choke-a-rama if it wasn't against Buffalo or the Devils. They've had some winning against the Capitals, but in a big spot, as Mad Dog used to say, the Rangers are flaccid offensively.
Yes.
They have no answer. And I also – and this
impotent.
What?
Impotent.
Just impotent. And I also want to say this, and this is a criticism of, I'm not like in the Fire Quinn, area right now. But one of the things is he does get out-coached by better coaches. I've seen it time and time again. Mike Sullivan owns him. Barry Trotz owns him. I mean, 4 shutouts Semen Varlamov had against the Rangers this year. They only played fucking 8 games.
I think he's the first goaltender to shut out the Rangers 4 times in one season. I believe I saw that somewhere.
If you know how to play them, there's no adjustments or there's no willing to adjust by the Rangers.
Well, after this Larry Brooks article that came out today, is he making adjustments and nobody's listening? I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but in the words of the immortal Isuru Tanaka in Major League 2, this team has no marbles. There's not enough.
It's starting to seem that way.
I said at the beginning of the season, I didn't see enough anger on this team. I don't see enough guys getting pissed off when they lose. We got to get them tomorrow. We just got to forget about this when we get them tomorrow. I don't see anybody getting mad. Who's getting mad on this team?
Well,
who gets mad besides me?
Oh, yeah. Besides everybody who's watching this, who's participating in this broadcast. Do you think that trickles down from the coach? I mean, a lot of people say that.
The coach looks pissed off plenty of times.
He looks so. But I said this before both Islander games on a thread that Sean McCaff had on his Facebook. I said that the coach, I like the coach, but I don't see him ever calling a timeout when like the game starts off shitty yet again. Early goals by morons. Leo Komarov. Apparently Anthony Beauvillier is like Wayne Gretzky against us. And all these other dopes. Barzell had 2 goals. But anyway, I said, I would like to see some kind of reaction on the bench. Now, I know I don't want a Tortorella-esque type of blow up, but just be like, light a fire under their asses. Like, listen, stop. Stop with the early goals. And, just show a little bit of, and I'm sick of, we're going to take it one game at a time. I'm sick of that. I don't want to hear that. At this, 3 games ago, I don't want to hear, take it one game. We got to win this game. We lost to Philadelphia. That was a disgrace. Just say that. It's not going to hurt anybody's feelings on the team. Has he called out anybody on the team? No,
I don't think that's his style to call them out publicly. I don't think that's his style. It's just not.
Did he say?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in the locker room, but I just don't think that's his style to do that publicly. And I don't really.
We need our top players to play better.
He has said that absolutely. Absolutely.
Did he say? Can we have?
Hey, you know how obvious it is. It's so obvious that the top players aren't performing. It's obvious when Joe Micheletti notices it.
Yeah,
and Joe Micheletti has been pointing it out a lot on the broadcasts lately. The top 6 of the top 6 of this team.
It's pretty obvious.
The top 6 on this team, they do not work hard enough. They don't. They don't work hard enough. They really don't want to work hard. They just want to. It's all flash and dash. They don't want to work hard enough.
Well, they need players to win those 50-50 battles they always talk about. And the Rangers are all about Harlem Globetrotter hockey. They want to get the fancy goal. I mean, a team like the Islanders will eat you up. I'm glad that Nassau Coliseum is going to be incinerated or nuked or whatever they do to that piece of shit. I'm glad that we never have to play a game in that dump again. Blow that shit up.
I wish they'd nuke it with about 8,000 of their fans in it.
You couldn't get 8,000 to go to a game.
Sorry, excuse me, but
I am a little bit jealous of their new arena. I drove past it yesterday. It looks
Which one?
The new one.
They got new arenas all over the 5 boroughs.
The one in Aqueduct. The one.
The UBS.
The UBS, whatever that is.
The IBS.
The irritable bowel syndrome.
Irritable bowel syndrome arena.
It is nice from the outside, but
not for long.
It's gonna be.
They unleash those felons in that place. There'll be piss on the walls. There'll be fucking diarrhea under the seats.
It'll be like an asylum.
Those disgusting sloths of humans.
Oh, they're riding high now with the brain.
Oh, fuck every goddamn one of them.
The ugly, the infirm, just cretins.
Might as well start building their next arena next year after you open the next condemned shithole they move into. Just wait till we get to Brooklyn. We'll finally have a home. And then a year later, this place is no good for hockey. Who was the fucking genius who looked at the plans of that place and thought they could play hockey there and be successful?
What, at the auto show over there at the Barclays Center?
Yeah, the Honda Center.
The Honda Center with that car for sale. They ever sell that car? Yeah, I don't know who comes up with their
did they ever sell that car?
That planning. So fuck them. I mean, they're a better team and they're better coached, but I can't spend too much time on them. So those are my criticisms of Quinn. Do I think it's to be fired? No. I just think that if the Rangers are going to make the next level, they need to. There's something with the leadership that's going on there, and I think you talked about it before or earlier.
There ain't none.
That the hate to lose mentality is not there,
and they've been. I mean, I hate to pin this all on one guy, but the guy who seemed to be stepping up as a leader on this team, he's been hurt the last 2 weeks. And that's when they've played some of their most disinterested hockey.
True. But
and I'm referring to the much maligned Jacob Trouba for those of you playing along at home.
But like Strome and Zibanejad and Buchnevich and even Panarin to a degree.
Invisible.
Inviso.
How does Artemi Panarin play 2 games against the Islanders? He doesn't get a shot on goal? 2 games?
Wow. Did not know
$10 million doesn't get you what it used to, I guess.
The $81 million man, not
you know what? You want to be celebrated with your high kicks and your hair, and you want us all to chant your name. That's fine, but you got to take it. You got to take it. When the going gets rough, where are the shots on goal? Do you remember laughing at John Tavares when he had no shots on goal in a Game 7 against the Maple Leafs? Well, where are you, Mr. Artemi Tavares? Where are you?
Artemi Tavares. This is
these 4 I'll tell you what, after the last week, these 4 games, I can't wait till they're done. I can't wait. Just get this over with. Wow, I will be watching. I shut the first Islander game off was the first game I've shut off all year. And the second game I barely even watched. We watched the first period and we had it on and we kept checking it. Once it was 3-0, I said, well, that's enough of that.
You didn't watch the Morgan Barron coming out party?
I watched a little bit of it. I saw enough. I saw enough.
The Tamo.
Got a horrible number.
What's his number?
Got a preseason number. Was it like 47? That's like 4th string goalie. Ain't no chance this kid's ever going to play in the league.
Maybe he'll come back next year. With a normal
I hope he does. I hope he does. But
that was I think the 5th player we've had in our lineup this year who's played his first NHL game. That shows you the Rangers. They served the Ute well, and I'm still riding high on it. I know it's so tough for me to even be positive after losing the 2 games, getting humiliated. This wasn't a 2-1 and a 3-1 loss. It was, you're not even in the game. They played better in the second game, but what's that?
But they had nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, I mean, but
you and me and Catroni and Sean McCaff and Patty Duke could have played better than they did in that first game. There was nowhere to go but up. And Howie Sussman in goal.
Yeah, Howie Sussman between the pipes.
Howie Sussman, not one of your better goaltenders, Jim.
No, Chef's right, man. It hurts to lose to the Islanders, man. And
it does.
It because of my professionalism, it takes everything within my core not to come out here screaming about how could you get shut out in 2 big games. So I'm going to do it now. So you know what? Because I'm not professional, I'm going to let you in. It is a disgrace to lose to those idiots like they did. All right? I tried to be professional first 20 odd minutes, but it's off.
The 6-1 loss the week before really didn't bother me that much. Because you kind of felt like after those wins against the Devils, you kind of felt like they were set up for an ass.
They were stepping up in class.
And honestly, I'm like, well, you know what? Sometimes you get your ass kicked, and it kind of recenters you. You bounce back from it. You play strong hockey, and they'll get better. Those 2 games against the Islanders at that shithole. I mean, inexcusable for the lack of effort that they put up. Just a reminder, Artemi Panarin had as many shots on goal in those 2 games as me and Eddie combined.
That's right. I had a lot blocked.
Yeah, you and I had trouble finding the shooting leads.
And you will learn if you're just starting to watch this show, nobody is above reproach.
No.
I mean, so we're not going to sit here and say how great Panarin is and he's got 3,000 points in 100 games as a Ranger, whatever he's got. You suck. And
right. There's no free lunch on this show.
Yeah.
If Henrik Lundqvist doesn't get a free ride, and he never did when he was bad, we said it. Nobody gets a free ride.
And again, I'm not going to say Panarin is a choker in the big games. I really don't know. I don't know if it's him. I just know that core That first and second line core, there's somebody in it. And I can't blame it on Chris Kreider because he was hurt.
Right.
Which is the same thing as if he was playing even strength.
Right.
So you don't really lose much there. But there's something going on. Now, maybe it's a leadership thing. Maybe it's the coach. I don't know. I'm not ready to indict anybody yet because there's a lot of fans over Quinn. He's been indicted. He's got the trial and he's been found guilty. I don't know what you expected from the Rangers this year. First of all, they're isolated in a stupid fucking division. All right. They're playing some of the better teams in the league. They've only been able to beat the Devils, the Sabres, and Washington. They can't beat the Islanders. They can't beat Pittsburgh, and they can't beat Boston. So I don't know what you expect. Do they belong in the playoffs? You can't beat any of those teams? I don't think you do. But it does hinder their progress because I think they are playing in a tough division with some good coaches. And now then there was the whole he started Shesterkin in the first game in that 2-game thing. Why is he doing that? Georgiev has a much better record and a smaller sample size. I think you got to put your best in if you have any hope to make a playoff thing. I had no problem with the Shesterkin. Then after the Shesterkin, all that came out, I would have started Georgiev. I saw it. I read them all back. Guess what? You were wrong too, because the Rangers up front did not give anybody any support. But they didn't score. They don't play. They didn't see. It's very frustrating. But Zsa Zsa Gabor, you should find that Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Bill Chadwick is here.
Yeah, Bill. Bill's upset too. Everybody, listen. We all listen. It's pain. I mean, this is pain for us Ranger fans. It is.
Yes, it is.
We should be used to it, but we're never going to get used to it because we're foolish.
I think we're used to it. I just don't think it just doesn't mean we're going to like it.
No, I mean, listen, it stings losing to those dopes 2 in a row in the way we did. Because now every fan of theirs thinks that they're going to win the Stanley Cup now that they beat the Rangers. And now I have to spend my freaking offseason rooting against the Islanders. Why do I have to do this? Can't I just be done with it? So, I don't know. It's just, it's annoying, but I have to, there was some progression with the guys. Right now, we're in a rebuild, man. It sucks. We're taking our lumps.
I agree. President Biden is here in the chat room.
Oh, wow.
Nice to see him awake.
He's awake, and he just spent $30 trillion on our broadcast.
You think he wears his mask while he watches this on YouTube, just in case?
Well, no. But I think he just spent $30 trillion on YouTube.
There's a great video of him from a couple of days ago where he's giving a speech somewhere. He freaks out because he can't find his mask and it was in his pocket.
Of course. I mean, the guy's old.
Yes, Eddie, I agree with you 100%. We are in a rebuild, and we have to be patient. But it is very, very concerning that the top 6, or the big 3 money men on this team right now are invisible, and these guys are, except for Zibanejad, 2 of these guys are locked in long term, and these guys aren't showing up in big games. I mean, who's setting the example?
I don't have the answer. That there's nobody.
There's nobody on this team setting an example right now. I cannot have Alexis Lafreniere and Capo Caco.
Yeah,
and
you don't want them learning.
I cannot have them picking up bad habits.
I certainly agree with you there.
Keandre Miller, I can't have him picking up bad habits.
Not having Ryan Lindgren also hurts the Rangers a lot.
Does?
But yes, you're right. You want your pedigree to have heart and have all this besides playing a 200-foot game, which he's got to learn things in this league. Oh, just shut up. I've had enough of everybody in this organization. Don't tell me anything in the organization. This is when I commiserate with my fans and my friends.
1 minute he says we're in a rebuild. We got to be patient. The next minute I don't want to hear anything from anybody in this organization.
I don't want to hear excuses. Hey, Quinn. Joey Biden is triple mass right now.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. I don't know. I don't have but I do believe they're in a tough division, man. Let's say, these teams are no joke, but they have leadership. Capitals have won a cup recently. The Bruins have recently kind of won a cup. They've been competitive. The Islanders suck.
I'll tell you what, Chef. When any one of these bozos on the top line wins 4 cups, they can start firing coaches. Until then, shut up and fucking play. I've had it.
Yeah, I know.
For 4 months watching this team, do I want to try to coax them into the playoffs, dragging them, kicking and screaming? And then we go to the island and fucking get shut out twice.
Tease me at least. Split.
Right.
Don't get humiliated. Why do you humiliate us like this?
Right. Talk dirty to me. Get me excited about the project.
Yeah, I agree with Mario. He expected effort. We want to see effort. Al Troutface. I really don't. I can't diagnose it. I don't know what it is. I mean, Larry Brooks is normally 100% wrong on everything. But here,
unless he steals it from us.
Right.
And then he's 100% right.
And he does fish a lot for like controversy just to, sell electronic newspapers or whatever he does. And, but he might be onto something here because this is a lot of big games this year. They just did not. They always get scored on early. How the fuck do you do that? And then in the second
against the Islanders, that's a death sentence. Because as Sam will tell you 100 fucking times a game, the Islanders are 20-1 when they score first. Oh, Joe, the Islanders are 20-1 when they score first. I'm hearing that in my fucking sleep. The Islanders. What was that thing from the Little Rascals? Learn that poem. Learn that poem. That's what I hear in my head. They're 20-1. They're 20-1. They're 20-1.
He's the voice of doom.
It's like it's everything he says. Everything he says, you could just take every bad luck charm and just throw him out on the ice.
He's a gloomy Jew. He's a gloomy Jew. He's a gloomy Jew.
Broken.
Oh, Keandre Miller is down on the ice. It doesn't look good. What? How many defensemen freaking score? I mean, get hit on the ankle. They hurt, and they go to the bench, and you come off. He's just so gloomy, and he's so repetitive. Oh, my God. I'm glad we got to him for a second. But he's not the reason the Rangers are impotent offensively.
Sam's a mush.
The Rangers are a mush. That first 2 lines, I don't know what's going on. Listen, see, I was so happy 2 weeks ago. Don't drink the milk. It's spoiled.
Pass it on. That was the don't drink the milk. It's spoiled. Pass it on. Don't drink the milk. It's spoiled.
They made the cake. His shoe was in it. Hairbrush. The kid starts brushing his hair.
Was there a mousetrap in the cake?
Hilarious comedy, Little Rascals. Very racist, but hilarious.
A tinge off color, yeah.
Anyway.
We don't have the Cutter's asking if we have the wheel tonight. We don't have the wheel tonight.
We don't have the wheel available tonight because I think who can you blame? I mean, I think there'll be a giant wheel of doom at the end of the season.
The He-Man Ranger in a club.
Give me the high sign.
We will have the wheel of blame for the funeral show.
Yeah, I'll be the wheel of doom, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Cutter, all your optimism, and I appreciate it about the Rangers making the playoffs.
But shove it.
Yeah, I just want to give you a big "I told you so"
Right.
2 months ago.
Right.
The goal was. But let me ask you this, Jim, and let me ask the probably 8,000 people in this chat room, including the president of the United States.
I like including the president. I like that everybody's come out at dinner time to come sit and have their dinner with us.
Yes. Me and Jim literally ate before we came on the show.
Right. Eddie signed into the studio, and I was shoving food in my mouth.
And I had just gotten done. All right. Here's the question.
All right.
Do the Rangers have to make the playoffs next year?
Yes. Yes.
Unequivocally, yes.
Unequivocally. Yes.
Fans at home, fans playing at home?
Because you can't if you're in the playoff race this season with 2 weeks to go, which they were.
Like last season almost.
Then you got to progress. You got to be in it next year. They got to be in it next year.
Okay. I'm waiting for the responses. Everybody is saying yes.
The chat room is going crazy with yeses. It's like it's Paul Bryant's wrestling. Isn't that his name?
Who?
The wrestler, Paul Bryant. The one with yes.
I don't know. I know Bear Bryant.
Bear Bryant.
Okay.
Everybody says yes. No one says
right.
no. They do not have to.
So I just want everybody on record. Yeah. So will there be adjustments with the core of this team next year? Well, hopefully we'll have a regular schedule.
I think there has to be.
The Rangers seem to edge close, and they tease you, and then they just fall apart at the end. And that's a bad trend.
What did I say? Daniel Bryant, whatever. Cares.
Sean says they should be a wire-to-wire playoff team where players are never in question. Okay.
I'll go along with that.
I mean, it's not so hard to make the NHL playoffs, but the rebuild should be fully underway.
Chadwick
has weighed in.
There he is.
All right, so we got that. I just can't believe we're not going to be in the show. Once again, I'm disappointed. Everybody's going to the party, and we got to sit home and play Xbox.
Last year not counting because that didn't count. What is this now? 4 years? Is this our fourth straight?
We're now 12th season of the rebuild.
Right. This is the fourth year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. One the last year under AV, right? And then 3 years of Quinn. Yeah, next year's got to be playoffs. Got to be. And there's got to be changes. If we need to change some personnel, then we got to do what we got to do to change some personnel. We need some guys in here that hate to lose. I'm sorry.
Do you think? I think you alluded that you do think. Do you think the Rangers are too fancy dancy for their own good?
Absolutely. They're too much flash and dash. They're not hard workers. They're not hard workers. They don't get along the boards and play hard. They don't dig for the hard pucks. They don't go to the corners tough. They don't play heavy. The term that everybody likes to use. They just don't. Win or lose, they look exactly the same. They remind me of Pat Shurmur, the former coach of the Giants. Win or lose, they're exactly the same. They look like they expect to lose.
I just want to say, how dare you to Chris Smith, who blamed the coat rack. The coat rack had nothing to do with the season since there was no viewing party.
That's UK Chris Smith. Chris, you got to call in. Say hi. It's nice and early over there.
Yeah, everybody wants to fire the coaches. And listen, I understand. I've gone on record of telling you what's bad, but the players win games. They go out on the ice. And, I don't think Quinn is the greatest in-game manager of all time. As a matter of fact, I think he's just about average. But I don't put the onus on him. Your players got to want to beat the Islanders. They're your fucking rivals.
The president
you should
wants
want
to
to beat
deport
their
David.
ass badly.
The president wants to deport David Quinn.
Wow. Let's see his papers. But here's the deal. You should want to kill the Islanders. Even when the Rangers sucked in the early 80s and when they sucked, they had to play the Islanders. They played the Islanders tough. Even if they lost 6-2, there was 5 fights, there was slashing, there was they hated each other. Now it's just another day at the office.
Chris, get your lovely wife Claire to call in. We'll straighten that out. We'll
What's
get
going on?
it straightened out. He said his wife is telling him to turn the phone down. It's almost 11 o'clock over there.
Oh my God! What are you guys, farmers? You going to sleep at 11 o'clock? And what am I talking about? I'll be asleep right after the show.
You'll be asleep by the third period.
Yeah. Well, I just woke up at 4:30, so
The crack of 4.
the crack of 4:30 in the afternoon. But there's going to be I think the Rangers got to make a change of the course. Somebody posed a question in the chat room: do you trade Mika? I think Mika would be a sexy player that teams would want. Do you trade Kreids?
He has a no move.
Kreids has a no move?
Yes.
All right. All my hopes and dreams get shot down in this show.
I'm sorry.
By reality. I think it's like the old days in the 80s where you just trade a guy.
Right. Well, we grew up in the Phil Esposito years. Where
I know. He was trading guys every other day. At least it was back in those days. It was exciting. Tonight the lineup.
I don't believe Mika has
Bobby Sheehan.
I don't see it listed here. Bobby Sheehan. Chip, look at this Bobby Sheehan. Oh, he does have he has a no move clause. Yes, he does. Sorry, it's listed.
The Rangers acquired Jeff Brubaker. Like what? How did they get this loser?
Here comes Chris Contos, Chip. It's gonna be a big one.
Torts sucks. The Blue Jackets are in last. So I don't hear anything about Torts. He's outlived his usefulness.
A ridiculous obsession with John Tortorella.
Well, Howie wasn't saying
who won a cup 30 years ago.
Yeah. That guy hasn't done shit. I mean, he's good for the antics, but what does that give you?
Right.
I'll tell you, Torts would straighten this team out, though. Those top 6 guys, they'd be benched. They wouldn't even be playing.
You can't get a signal in the garden shed.
Well, whatever. It's just it's disappointing, but I'm trying to maintain my calm and collected because people went berserk after these 2 losses, and then they should.
Chris, don't you have a Hess gas station nearby you can go to?
I know where I live. So what I do is I move down the street near the tower at a Hess gas station.
See, that's good advice from Frankie. Thank you, Frankie. It goes to Frankie from beyond.
I mean, the idea of a Tortorella-like coach is appealing, but not John Tortorella. A guy with a little more fire and a little more less coach speak. We have to win those 50-50 battles. Well, what happens when you don't win the 50-50 battles? What are you telling these guys?
Pat Quinn still alive?
Dead.
He is dead. How about who's the guy? What's
Gerard Gallant? That's all.
Oh, the savior.
Let me tell you, this fan base is obsessed with Gerard Gallant. Fred Shearer's dead long time. Freddie the Fog. But what? If Gerard Gallant is so good, how come no other team went out and got him?
Right.
I never heard. Sean loves that swagger. We need players with swagger.
I'll just wait when the season's over. I'm surprised it hasn't started already. Messier for coach. Where are those bozos?
That'll be coming.
What about Pat Burns? He's dead too, isn't he?
Dead too. What is this?
All the Pats are dead.
Yeah, everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead. Emil Francis is still alive.
I know. Get him back.
He's 97.
He'll be keeping the shots on goal on a little pencil and paper. I invented that. He invented analytics. Emil, he invented everything.
4 years old. God bless him.
He invented everything. The goalie glove. I was the first one to win that.
Used the first baseman's bit.
Yeah. I got called into Art Skoll's office after the game. Said that was illegal. I mean, you know all these trophies that the Vezina, this and that. Emil Francis knew all those people personally. That's how old he is. He knew all those guys. Great man though, and great guest.
Right.
Bruce Boudreau's a piece of shit. He's the one who started the whole "Can you hear us" thing, and he's anti-Ranger. I watch him on an NHL network. He's terrible. Fuck Bruce Boudreau. Yes, Sean's right. Emil Francis invented Sam's toupee.
Next head coach might be right in Hartford. Could be Chris Knobloch.
Oh, God. This is another nondescript guy. I don't know. Listen, I'm not looking for a new coach yet.
Weren't they 12-0 when he was the interim coach?
They kind of tailed off at the end of that, but they did start
when
off.
When he had the Kovitz?
Yeah. Listen, I just think next year is his. They get up to a bad start. I'm sick of these bad starts too. I mean, they got an excuse. I guess they have an excuse. Every other team had no training camp or preseason, but it's
the letter is starting to read like the Dead Sea Scrolls, Mario.
They got to put it in a glass case.
Yeah, it's like
hermetically sealed so it doesn't age.
If you go to the Smithsonian of American, I think it's the Smithsonian of American History in Washington D.C. They have the first United States flag in there, and it's in a dark room. You can't take pictures. That's where the letter's going to be.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. What can we do, guys? I mean, the future looks bright. It still does, but
it just needs a little tweaking.
It needs a little tweaking. And it's not from the youth, really. I mean, who I think have played pretty well. It's the veterans who really need to take the lead and step up, as they say. And Ken Janander, yes, he does deserve a chance. He was the AHL coach of the Wolfpack for like 20 years.
Right, when they won 8 games every year.
Yeah, they won 8 games. The worst coach.
And didn't develop one player.
Not one player.
Right.
We can get, what's that guy's name who used to do the Hartford thing with us? Mitch Beck. Can tell me how great Ken Janander is and what a wonderful person Wade Redden is. You look at the stats, and the Rangers are a pretty impressive team. I mean, even with the losing, they're over 500. I mean, but again, they feasted on the weak, which is good because perennially we have always sucked against the weak. We always play down to our opponents. Now we just can't get up for our tougher teams. They get humiliated. They humiliate the bad teams, the 9-0s, the 6-1s, and then when they play a good team, they get humiliated.
Right.
It's a season of humiliation. That's what it is.
The humiliated become the humiliatees become the humiliated.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy season. It really is.
Well remembered.
It's a crazy season this year, and they're just not as good as the teams ahead of them.
Right. It's almost 6 o'clock. Do you want to start talking to some peeps?
Yeah, let's talk to the people.
All right, they're all.
I got a
lined
feeling
up.
I'm going to get a lot of fire Quinn, and that's
all lined
fine.
up.
You got your right. What you want to say? Yeah, there he is.
Alec, good evening. How are you, sir?
Alec, how are you?
Gentlemen, how are we?
Doing good.
You want Quinn gone, don't you?
I want Quinn gone.
Okay.
I do. I just, in the immortal words of Carlo from The Sopranos, he's got to go. Okay. He looks like he's a debate coach, not an NHL coach. He does not get this team up. And let me ask you this. What system do we play? What's our identity? You know? I mean, it's a bunch of individual efforts that win games, right? Zabinajad has a 6-point game, or Panarin has 3 points, and Fox has 3 points. But what's the system? What's the, you know, we're not hard to play against. We don't come out with any enthusiasm. We're lethargic more games than not to start. We get in a hole. We're chasing the lead half the game because we start lousy. You know, there's no snarl. There's no grit. And you know that Brooks article today, I think, was illuminating, right? Because now it's a question. You know, are the older guys, the vets, the top 6, right? Are they just tuning Quinn out and doing their own thing, or is Quinn just not telling them what to do? Either way, that's a problem. Because if he's lost the room, he's not getting it back. He's not established enough to have the reputation and the snarl and whatnot that he can win that locker room back. So I don't know who the replacement is. I don't know. Maybe Jacques Martin. I think he's done a great job with the D. I don't know. But I don't think this guy's the answer.
Yeah, well, I don't see him as a guy that's going to win. I'm worried about the development now. But yes, they don't have an identity. When you play the Rangers, the first 2 lines are going to try to just go north-south on you the whole game, or east-west rather, on you the whole game, pass across the ice. And the other 2 are supposed to like just check and get established for forecheck. But they don't have a system. And the lack of adjustments is the thing that gets to me. Yep. In-game adjustments, nothing. Somebody is not listening or telling.
No, nothing.
They don't adapt.
You bring up development. You know, I'm not upset about us missing the playoffs. I never thought we'd make the playoffs this year anyway, given the division we're in. Forget the Tony DeAngelo and Putin and Mika having a cold streak and all that, right? I mean, the deck was stacked against us to begin with. But what I'm upset about, I thought this was the year that was supposed to be of development. Who did we develop? I mean, we developed Kreider's aerobic capacity, seeing him skating around all the time, first line minutes, right? We developed Blackwell and Rooney's bargaining position for the next contracts, right? And don't give me this BS. Well, you know, they got to learn the Lafreniere and Kako, like you said. They got to learn to play the right way. They got to learn to play defense. Yeah, they got to be complete players. I get that. But what got them to the positions they are, what led them to be 1 and 2 draft picks, was their offensive prowess. Let them go out there and do what they know how to do and show what they can do. They're the ones that need the development time. Take your lumps, take your losses with them learning the ropes. You can teach them positional play and defensively. You can't teach someone to be offensively better generally. You know? So I don't understand what this year was. It's like we got enticed by a playoff run, and we chased that and sacrificed development time for the younger kids who need it.
All right, let me ask you this. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you think that Lafreniere developed this year, or he was hindered by Quinn?
Well, you know, I think he was hindered, and I'll tell you why. Every scout, every scouting report, everything leading up to the draft, the World Juniors last year, Lafreniere is NHL ready. He can step in. I heard some people predicting he'll be a point-a-game player, right? Now, I understand scouting it's a black voodoo art. You know, I get that. But, I mean, all of Canada is asking, well, what's happening to this kid? Why? You know, Austin Matthews came in, probably after Austin Matthews, well, Lafreniere is the next highest touted and ranked and whatnot, right? Didn't Matthews score 4 goals his first game in the league? You know, they just threw him out there and let him play and said, you know what? Learn what you got to do. Learn the ropes. We'll take the lumps, but you got to learn how to play at the pro level. And I just feel the sheltering and this and that. I mean, at some point, the baby bird's got to fly, you know? And like Kraftsoff, right? You know, Quinn says, well, he didn't come over here to be a fourth line player, yet he starts him on the fourth line every game. You know, I just don't get it.
Okay. Do you think Kako developed the way you thought he would be, or
no? I mean, well, Kako had nowhere to go but up from last year. I mean, he was, I think, statistically one of the worst players in the league last year. So he had nowhere to go but up. It's nice to see flashes here and there, but they're too infrequent for me. You know, like I say, these guys, they made their bones with their scoring in their juniors, and you know, putting the puck in the net and playmaking, setting guys up. You know, Quinn loses them on the bench. You know, I can't buy that. Like I say, this was the year those guys should have been getting max ice time.
Well, it's I mean, wouldn't you agree it's kind of hard to give them max ice time when you've got Artemi Panarin, Mika Zibanejad?
Yeah,
It's
no,
tough.
I agree. No, I agree. The Panarin signing made no sense to me when they did it, because if you're truly in a rebuild, that's the cherry on the top type signing, not the one you make at the beginning. You know, that's the one you bring in at the end when you have the pieces in place and you need that final piece to the puzzle, put you over the top. You know, and I like Panarin, I really do. He's a dynamic player, but I'll tell you what, he's not been as good this year as he was last year. Last year, he made some really, really technical passes and some just amazing plays. And this year, I mean, all he wants to do, he's like Ovechkin light lately. He just wants to park on the half boards and fire one-timers, you know?
I think the word I used was he's been less dynamic this year.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. 100%. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
Let me ask you this: you're obviously in the camp, because most of us are. How much of a leash are you going to give David Quinn? And probably not much next year if the Rangers get up to another bad start, which is
not much. I mean, you know, like I said, I don't want to torch coach, you know, but I want a coach that has some torts in him. Somebody at some point, you know, it's got to stand up. Bro,
I agree there.
You know, cooler in the locker room or something, you know, get these guys pissed off. And like you said, they're just too passive always round. And they play a perimeter game. No one goes to the dirty parts of the ice. No one grinds consistently along the boards. And yeah, I agree. You know, your supposed like biggest rival, historic rival, you can't get up for these games, especially after you just got spanked. I mean, they were just no shows, you know. It's not a good look.
Yeah, it's not a good look, especially like when you get scored against early, right? And they go down a couple goals. You're like, all right, now the coach between periods has the time to talk to the guys, get the guys ready. And then a minute into the second period, the team scores again. And it's 3-0 again. And they're out of the game now.
Right.
It's like, what went on?
That's what I wonder. You know, I mean, the Islanders I would not consider them a fast team. Against the Rangers, they look like world beaters, like, you know, and it's all system and positioning. They play with a purpose. They position and move themselves. They forecheck, they pressure hard. We never pressure anybody. We're always passive, waiting back. We give up the blue line all the time. It's better under Martin. I mean, I used to get furious under Ruff, where we would give up from, you know, the face-off circle dot all the way up, you know. But it's gotten better. But I mean, you know, the Islanders are hard on the puck. They forecheck. It looked like the Rangers were down a player that entire game. It confounded me because it seemed like they had 3 guys in on the forecheck every time, and whenever we would get the puck, they had 3 guys back. You know.
Well, I think he was simply outcoached. That's just the way and his players respond. Trotz's players respond to that because they've won under it too, and they know it works.
Right.
Whereas
Well, and
Quinn,
they
they
have a
haven't.
very blue collar mentality. And I'm not saying I think you need a balance, right? I mean, they
Right,
got
no, I agree.
Barzal, they got Pajot, they got, as you said, the new, Wayne Beauvillier, right? So they have some Wallstrom, has got a good shot. So they have some offensive talent, but they got the Brock Nelsons and the Cizicases and whatnot, that do the dirty work and can really, crucially when they have a lead, can pin the other team deep in their defensive zone and burn minutes off the clock. And we don't have that, like you've both said, it's all east-west finesse. And that's great for the regular season, but that's not what really generally wins in the playoffs.
No, it's good against the Buffaloes and the
Yeah.
Devils. But when they play with a team that is gritty and can bring that kind of game, like the Islanders can. But the Islanders' Achilles heel is if you do score on them, then they got trouble scoring.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
So hopefully that will happen in the playoffs because I want a swift exit for those guys.
Yes. No, I don't. I don't want us to change places with the Islanders, personnel wise. What I'm saying is we could use some of
that.
Those type.
Yeah, I agree with you on on having
on the
balance.
third and fourth line. Yeah.
You can't have
there's got to be a shakeup on the top.
I think so too.
Absolutely. I
hope that David. I hope that
know.
Davidson and Gorton see this and recognize it.
I mean, it should have been a wake-up call last year with the Carolina series where Brady Shea set the tone like 30 seconds into the game with a crushing body check when he never did that for us the entire time he played with us. And we never recovered from that point on. Like it stunned us into just submission for 3 games. And,
similar to what happened to Trouba. When Trouba got crushed by Matt Martin, the Rangers never really recovered.
No, they just looked at each other. And how about when Mika Zibanejad got that blatant elbow to the mush and nobody did anything? I mean, nothing.
That shows a lot.
That's disturbing to me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you got to go take a guy's knees out and ruin his career, but I mean, something. You got to do something. You can't let your quote-unquote top-line center just get abused like that and just act like it didn't happen.
They don't have the personality, I think. They're just they're like a bunch of nice guys.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they,
No, 100%. And I just want to say one thing too, real quick. I'm really turning sour on DeAndre Miller. The more I watch,
he hasn't had a good last quarter here. It's not been good for him.
I think he's getting exposed. I think folks have realized he's got a big stick and he uses his stick and he stick checks more than he physically checks. And unless he starts, putting some muscle behind his play.
I have noticed him get knocked off the puck a couple times.
Yeah.
And I was kind of shocked by it. And I think him losing Trouba that didn't help him. But yeah, I do see a little bit of a decline in his play, but I mean, he's a rookie. Like a lot of these guys.
No, I get that. But you know what? He's in his early 20s, so it's not like he's 18. He's a big guy. He's filled out, right? I'd like to just see a little bit more snarl, a little pushback. Like he just, he stick checks, he puts his stick out, and a lot of times he recovers because of his athleticism. But it's not because, in my opinion, he's great positionally or has, and I guess you can learn all that, but I don't know. With some of the other guys we have in the system, he might be one I would explore trading this offseason to help get some more grit.
I wouldn't do that personally yet, but I mean, he could wind up being a 5 or a 6, if he continues. Yeah. I just think it's tough to play in this league as a defenseman, and I do see what you see. I see a lot of disastrous turnovers, and then he'll kind of try to make up for it, and sometimes he does, and sometimes he doesn't. But give him another year. I've been burned by the big guy. He's always with the stick. I remember I saw Chris Pronger when he first played. He's a big gawk going with a stick. I go, he stinks. And of course, he's like one of the best defensemen ever. And then I saw the same thing with Chara when he was with the Islanders. I was like, this big gawk. Well, come on, he's just a stick. He's not really physical. What does he do? And this guy turns out to be a Hall of Famer too. So I'm going to hold judgment at least. But I do see what you say. I see your point.
Yeah.
How about you, Jim? You have any Thoughts on Keontre?
I'm hoping that another season he'll come back better than he's been. He seems to have hit a bit of a wall. I just want to let everybody know there are problems at YouTube. I'm looking at Down Detector right now. Apparently our stream is buffering. It's not us. I can guarantee you it is not us tonight. So I apologize. Tomorrow I'll try and download the whole video and post it back to YouTube so you guys can see it. But I do see, according to Down Detector, that YouTube has been having issues. And I was watching a live concert stream on Saturday night, and it just stopped. It stopped streaming. It was buffering for a while. But we're still on. So I can't. I don't think this is a Be Live thing. I think this is YouTube.
Okay.
But we're still on, so we just keep going. And I apologize to those of you in the chat room. The chat room has dwindled down to 3 people.
Oh boy.
That's okay. We'll keep talking, and we'll put the rest of it up tomorrow, because I can download the video and repost it. So
super.
Yeah. So
well, I think Gorton has his work cut out for him this offseason. I really do.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think there's some decisions to be made.
Yeah.
And like Dancing Larry Brooks wrote, I mean, there's got to be something with that core. There's something wrong there. There's just a disconnect. Why these guys cannot score? And come on, they got humiliated.
It's not even score. They don't show up. I mean, they're not. When Leo Komarov is getting more offensive chances and flow and is looking like a dominant player out there, and you got Panarin and Zibanejad and and they're nowhere to be found. They're totally MIA. They're like checked out.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's disheartening and embarrassing all at the same time.
We've seen this too many times.
That's true. Bad starts
not just
to
with
games.
this team. I mean, through the decades.
Right. Yeah. So
it's not good. Yep.
Hopefully they can beat Washington. Maybe regain some kind of. You know what? I don't even care if they beat Washington. It's like, but if they beat Washington, at least maybe they get a. I don't want the young guys to get used to this losing culture. That's the thing.
Yes, right. Agreed.
You become a loser and you accept losing, and then the veterans just don't care. What kind of example is that?
No, I agree.
Jim alluded to that earlier. So maybe if they can end the season here with some wins, they won't feel as much losers. But it's painful right now for us Ranger fans after seeing those 2 games. But I'm still trying to maintain the future is so bright I have to wear shades attitude.
Oh, I mean, I think they could have a very, very, bright future, but they have to navigate correctly. You know what I mean? And like you said, it's developing these kids, developing a winning culture, bringing the right pieces in, finding that optimal balance on the team, and it's asset management at the end of the day when you really get down to it. And if I could just indulge one thing that really annoyed me, and I don't want to go over the whole Tony DeAngelo thing, wherever you stand on it, but the thing I didn't like about that whole situation, the Rangers immediately came out and said he will never play for this team again, right? And I thought that destroyed any leverage or any bargaining position they had to trade him. I mean, I understand you want to make a public statement, but it's not the first time in the history of the league 2 teammates have ever fought. It's happened a lot. It's not unprecedented, and again, I don't know everything that went on in the locker room. I'm not trying to say I do. But, clearly the Rangers over the previous summer had committed to Tony for 2 years at $4.8 million. Right. So they didn't think it was enough of a problem then, right? So they committed to him. If things change, right? I get that. Right. So this situation happened, and you say, behind closed doors, hey, we don't want this guy on our team anymore. There's a problem with it. He's got to go. Why you would say that publicly, and now you've turned an asset into nothing. Yeah. I mean, it could have got something for him, right?
Right.
I mean, 58 points the year before. It should have been worth something. Yeah. 4th round pick, something. Now they're going to lose him for nothing.
I think it was a knee-jerk reaction for them to say that and do that because the climate as it was back then and still is today, it was more of a PR thing to say
You got it.
rather than a business, which that was a mistake.
Yeah.
If they could have gotten a second-round pick for him, that would have been a boon for the Rangers. But I think they just, they did it for PR reasons, and especially with the Blueshirt barbecue thing and the whole, I think they just wanted to wash their hands of all of it. And no, that word racist, or we just don't want to be. And it was not a good business move.
No.
But for PR reasons, that's what they did.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I understand, the climate and everything surrounding it. But I'm just saying, excuse me, putting that ultimatum right off the bat, he will never play for us again. You boxed yourself in a corner.
Yes. And nobody was interested. The trading deadline, nobody was interested.
No, nothing.
So, I agree. I mean, I'm still a Gorton guy. I'm going to be a Gorton guy till I see something glaring. So, we'll see. We'll see.
No, I think the overall balance sheet, Gorton has done a good job. Now, obviously, a first and second overall pick because of ping pong balls was not his doing, right? I get that. But by and large, I think he's won more than he's lost on trades. I know everybody points to the McDonough trade, but
they were rebuilding and
lose something, right?
They had to sell some of this stuff off. I mean, you're not going to win every trade anyway.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. Right. But I think by and large, he's shown himself to be smart enough to know what to do. I don't think he really generally gets bent over on his trades. He traded McDonough for youth, right? And youth is always a crapshoot. You never know. Look, who was it? Doug Wickenheiser or whatever went first overall.
Yes, he was number one draft.
Brian Lawton.
Brian Lawton. I was going to say
Patrick Stefan. All these guys, right?
A lot of them.
They all get highly touted, so you never really know what you're going to get. It's magic beans, right?
Right.
So,
I'm still positive about next season. But I agree with you. There's got to be something going on in those veterans that just not the compete level is just not there. And you got to have that. You got to sacrifice points somewhere for compete level. You know what I'm saying? Grit or whatever you want to call it. It looks sexy to have 28 goals and 35 assists, whatever you have. But I'd rather have a 15-goal guy with like 12 assists who brings something to the table. You know what I'm saying? Like he hates to lose. Like the whole Islanders fourth line typifies Cizikas, Martin, Clutterbuck when he's playing, and Brock Nelson. Like you said, these guys play at a high level. Their defensemen are nothing to. They're really not that great, but their forwards bring that. So that's all I got to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, you want that when another team looks at the schedule and says, "Oh, we got the Rangers coming up." They know they're in for a game, whether that means they're going to get pounded into the boards or skated into the ice, something, But I don't think there's any fear factor with the Rangers right now in any capacity. Maybe we go up against a good goaltender, But that's about it.
Right, which has been their MO for the last 30 years. We're playing a good goalie tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Alec. Nice seeing you, my friend.
Thanks, Alec.
Gentlemen,
we'll talk to you next time. Take care.
Good. Be well. Enjoy the game.
I'll see you in the game thread.
You got it.
Bye. All right. So just to recap, our YouTube is not streaming. There's buffering issues, but it's according to what I'm reading, YouTube is currently having issues.
Oh.
We are still live, obviously, or else if we weren't, we wouldn't be talking to people, and I wouldn't be able to chat with people. So this one's
buffering.
This one's not our fault, or not Be Live's fault, not that I know of.
They can't. You know what? They just hate that we're on visual.
Is that what it is?
There he is. How you doing? How are you?
How you doing, huh? How you doing?
How you doing?
We're doing good, baby. All right, rip into him.
I'm going to say this again. This team needs someone to come in that knows how to win, that has won. That's what the team needs. Like an Alec Martinez or a Getzlaff, those type of guys.
Dustin Brown.
Yeah, those type of guys.
I've been screaming for this since the beginning of the season. I need a veteran in here that knows how to win. We got to get a goddamn captain. There's no leadership. We're on a ship with no captain, and we're floating.
It's not even that. Again, we just need a guy that knows how to win and has won, that has a winning up here. You know, like I said, Alec Martinez,
Carl Hagelin in here.
Those type of guys.
So you want Carl Hagelin? He's won a couple cups. I don't want that idiot. It's not just you got to win. You got to be able to play and win.
But you know what I mean.
Yes.
A Getzlaff, an Alec Martinez, those type of guys. But the problem is they're not going to be cheap. That's the fucking problem.
Well, I'm sure these guys are on their way out. Ryan Getzlaff. I mean, he's like 200.
But if you get him for a year or two at a nice,
you know how much Martin St. Louis meant to this team when he was with the Rangers?
Damn straight.
His mother dies, the team rallies. We all remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
Even Bucky Beaver, Brad Richards there.
Yeah.
He definitely was a leader, a guy who won, like you said. They need that type of leadership. It just can't. There's got to be a guy besides the coach. Now they say Trouba has emerged as this guy, as the voice in the locker room. But you gotta
I shit on Trouba a lot, but you know what? This guy was a good foil for fucking Miller. Those two guys complimented them really nicely.
I agree.
And I think now he's been exposed because there's no Trouba. Now he's being exposed.
I agree. And I think he's hit the wall a little bit. I think it's a combo.
Right.
But you need not just one guy in the locker room that's like that. You need two or three.
Yeah.
And you want as many as possible as guys are like, listen, this is no. This is no good. We're fucking losing to the Islanders here. Look at these assholes that are scoring us. Turn to fucking, Rooney. Listen, this fucking Leo Komarov scored. He's a loser. You're a loser too. You get a goal. Come on, let's fucking go, boys. Let's go.
You gotta break some sticks, man, in the locker room.
Yeah. Little fire. But that's today's hockey, though. It's not like it used to be. Everybody's some young college boy or some young Euro.
They're all soft.
They are. They're all like young Euros and young college boys and with their hairdos and, they're shaving.
It's only getting worse, man. It's only getting worse because a lot of the prospects are now Americans. There are a lot of Euros. No more Canadians.
They're more concerned with their beards and their metrosexuality than actually freaking getting in there and busting some balls. Seriously, I mean, it's all about.
I think that's a league-wide culture, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do agree, but the Rangers seem to have a little bit more of them
because it's New York. That's why.
New York, you got to be styling and profiling.
Woo!
Ric Flair. You ever see that video? I just want to talk wrestling for a second, where Ric Flair has that woo off with that one guy.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot his. Jay Lethal, that was him.
That was hysterical. That's hysterical. You can't outwoo me. I was like, you can't be me. Ric Flair. Anyway, but yeah, I agree with you. And did you break anything during the Islander games, or did you?
No, I turned that shit off because I didn't want to break anything.
If you're smart and you're an aged Ranger fan, you shut that shit off. And but I feel like the Rangers.
You know who I'd like to get in on this team next season, and he's a free agent.
Who?
Nick Jugstad. He'd be a perfect 3C. Perfect 3C. I don't think Cheeto's good. I don't think Cheeto's the guy for that for as a center. I don't think he's the guy. I just don't think he is.
Well, he's shown flashes, but I have to look at Nick Bukestad's stats, and
he's not. He's extremely inconsistent. But as a third line center, I would take a chance.
Wow.
Because he's not. Because I mean,
All right,
you're not going to put him. You're gonna if you could put him in with, I don't know, with a Kratzoff type of guy or a Gauthier. Who knows?
I love your scouting. He's extremely inconsistent. Let's get him.
No, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, you want Cheadle in that spot?
Don Cheadle, War Machine from the Marvel movies. Have you been
the guy on the third line?
What is he? 21. I'm not giving up on this guy yet.
All
right. Am I satisfied? No, you're right. I'm not satisfied, but I'm not giving up anybody. You guys are, man. You guys are the most impatient. This is the most impatient fan base in the world. I mean,
no, it was. I'm telling you what it is. It's the fact we got Lafreniere is why everybody said, "Oh, we got to make the playoffs. Oh, we got to go." You know, and look what happened.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And this team has talent. This team is not a bunch of bums. This team has talent.
Yeah, they have a lot of East-West talent. Well, now we got to get more
North-South.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what we got to get.
I think this team has been an East-West team for a long ass time.
It has. No, I agree with you there. All right. Well, I got to head west to my TV set so I can watch this Ranger game.
What are you, masochist?
Listen, baby. This is the only one of the teams we can actually beat.
Yeah, Washington. That's good point.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
All right. Talk to you later.
Ovechkin, 5 goals under.
Hold on. We got one more caller.
Wow. It's standing room only.
And Alec is so dedicated. He is back in the studio just so he can listen to the rest of the show.
Wow. And speaking about it, dedicated and medicated. Cutter, how are you, man?
Nice.
What?
Sorry, I had him muted.
You were muted. I didn't hear what you said.
What's up, Cutter?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Rangers are going to miss the playoffs again. I'm not happy.
Are they officially eliminated?
That's all right. You're a Maple Leafs fan. Look at you.
Well, I have to cheer for the team that's going to make the playoffs.
Well, I will say the Leafs, this is got to be their year, man. If they don't get out of that first round, dude, it's going to be hell to pay.
Damn right.
But I like your new goaltender, Jack Campbell there. He's playing extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to got the right pieces with
Foligno.
Nick Foligno from Columbus. And who's the other guy they got? Frenchman, maybe. I forget at this moment. But
doesn't matter.
They got the best, well, arguably the best player in the league. It's between him and McDavid, Austin Matthews.
He's got the goal scoring title.
Yeah, right. He's going to win probably the Rocket Richard, right?
He's got a good lead.
So
I'm happy.
I will be rooting for the Leafs. I mean, any original 6 team, any team that's gone through some hardship, I feel bad for, except the New York Islanders, of course. They should lose every game for the rest of their existence. But
right.
And
Boston.
Why are you mumbling? You can speak right into the microphone. You could just say out loud, that's fucking right. It's true. The Islanders should lose. And so I will be rooting for the Maple Leafs. I have a feeling my associate, Jim Schmiedenberg, will be rooting against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
No, I root for the No, I like the Maple Leafs.
Oh, you like the Maple Leafs?
You do?
Yeah, I got no problem. I would like to see them win. I want to see. Well, I have nothing against Toronto. I always try and pull original 6 when I can, and I would love to see John Tavares skate with the cup. Absolutely.
I never thought of that.
So that herpes-ridden skank with the blue and orange lips can have a heart attack.
Yes, that would be good.
Do another "We Don't Need You" video while he's skating with the cup, like the man over my shoulder there.
We could maybe I could do a video where she's talking about Tavares and then have him while he's got the cup.
Right.
That'd be great, you bitch.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough road. I mean, I mean, I don't want this to become a Maple Leaf broadcast, but hey, listen, the Rangers are out. Who are they set to face off against in the first round?
Well, we haven't clinched the division yet, but if we're right now, it's Montreal.
Yeah, you should be able to hit Montreal. They have trouble scoring. I got right now. Carey Price is out at the moment,
and they play Montreal the next 3 games. So.
Oh, really?
Yes, we do.
Wow, has he ever used we with the Rangers?
Oops, I forgot.
I
screwed up.
No worry.
Anyway, I was going to talk Rangers stuff.
Oh, that's what you're here for.
Yep. So, what do you think the season would have been like if Tony DeAngelo was on the team? Like, I posted something, but I just wanted to know about the defense. Like, we have 2 young goalies, and would that have made a difference?
No.
No?
Tony DeAngelo, the Rangers power play did come on later. I don't think Tony DeAngelo was I don't think it would have made a difference because the bottom line is when the Rangers had to win games, they couldn't score, and it's mainly due to their forwards, not their defense. So, and I liked what Tony DeAngelo did last year. I was not a fan of Tony DeAngelo's defense. The power play probably would have been better earlier. That's about it. Jim?
Wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I think they've been able to get better defensively without him, and I don't think he would have made enough of a difference offensively. So how's that? How's that for an answer?
I'll take it.
Oh, he'll take it. Next question.
Next issue.
Next question.
Oh, that's it. That's the only question you have about Tony DeAngelo. You're like 9 months late with that question.
What do you mean? How so?
Oh, Tony DeAngelo, that issue has been settled. Give me something current. How about you thought the Rangers were going to make the playoffs? You were probably the last Ranger fan I know that was still thinking they were going to make it, and you were wrong. How does that make you feel?
You have to tell Robbie that. I think
You're always wrong. That's what's so right about you. You're always right. You're always wrong.
Robbie G and Brulo, whatever that guy's name is. G and Guy Lombardo there.
He's a freaking goalie on the team.
Well, I know he's the goalie on our fantasy video game, whatever. But Robbie is a little bit. He's a little bit too pedestrian for me. He doesn't really dive into what's going on in the Rangers. He sees wins and losses, and
he's Pollyanna.
He's Pollyanna, and he's more into the Knicks than he is the Jets than he is the Rangers.
He's very rah-rah. And he doesn't call in anymore to state his case. So
yeah, and I don't see him on the chat room now. Hey, he's banned. I just banned him.
Banned?
I banned him from the show.
All
he
right.
can post, but he can't. He's not allowed on the show.
Oh, wow.
Sick of his Pollyanna.
But he does come to the viewing parties.
Oh, I didn't ban him from there.
All right.
I'm in a bad mood. I want to ban somebody, so Robbie's getting banned.
Oh.
I will not ban you, Cutter, ever.
Oh, cool.
My wife loves your videos.
Oh, thank you.
She thought your videos are great.
Yeah, I paid for a few of them.
I saw somebody said that there was some guy in Mexico that's supposed to be like you. It was Doug or something.
There's a video somebody posted in the group.
The Facebook group, yeah. Martino.
Of a guy singing, and it's pretty bad.
Yeah, you're the final countdown, and I can do better than him.
Well, I think we should invite that gentleman into the show, and you guys do a karaoke.
Yummy, yummy cupcake! Yummy, yummy cupcake! Fuck that! Fuck that shit!
Love it.
A young Cutter. A very young Cutter.
Very young. How old were you when you made that?
I think I was a few months into my BSU thing. I think it was August 2010.
Wow.
So
I know.
Which would make you what? 20? You would have been how old then?
I was 25. Sorry. Yeah, I was 25 at that time.
See, that's your biggest hit, and you peaked at 26.
Really?
You got to come up with a better song.
I come up with better songs, but
you know what? I'm going to put you on an assignment. Come up with a song about that chick, that one who has the blue and the orange lipstick, and that chick. It's like, fuck that bitch.
What type of style do you want it in?
I don't know, maybe a waltz. I mean, what do you ask you? What kind of style? Reggae? I don't know. Jim,
A waltz. We get it in a polka.
I can't do polka. Polka.
Do whatever.
Reggae.
Okay.
Reggae.
I thought you had a preference.
I don't know, Jim. You're the music guy. What do you want?
I should do death metal.
Death metal.
Just like you, Eddie.
Ooh, fuck that bitch. Cookie Monster band.
Yeah, if I can get my voice that deep.
Yeah, well, that's never gonna happen.
How about opera?
Opera.
Okay, I could try.
Argent Blue Girl.
That's like
You
suck. Yeah, I can
right.
Yeah,
right.
sure. What's the deadline, if I may ask?
Deadline is right now. It's May
3rd.
May the 3rd.
No, I was gonna May 17th. May 17th.
Okay, can do.
When's the end of the Ranger season?
Isn't it Saturday for you guys?
So yeah, May 17th.
Okay.
We'll promote it. It's coming. Something you do in the off season.
Is this going to be a live performance, or do we want it on video, and then we can just play it here? In the
It's
group?
up to Cutter.
Monday night. That might be difficult.
What's difficult?
But
Might be
pre-record.
difficult on a Monday night because I have my group thing.
Okay, well, you just have it. You want to do it live? Or you want to do it taped?
I don't think you want me to do it live. They'll laugh at me.
Live is a little tough to pull off.
I can figure it out.
Do it
I
this
got
style.
The horse right here. The name is Paul Revere.
I
And
got the
here's a
girl
guy
right
that
here.
says
She's
the
got,
phone is
the lips
clear.
right here.
Can do.
Orange and blue.
This guy says
Our
the horse
lips
can
are
do.
fucking orange and blue.
If he says
Can't
the horse
do.
can do.
We move arenas every week.
Valentine's on the morning line. Let's got him figured at 5 to 9.
You figure if you got to just do a plain rap, do another Cutter rap. That's your forte.
I think I could try that. Yeah, sure.
All right. You don't have to have it in the 17th. Have it on the 18th. Whatever it's good. Work
Okay.
around your heavy schedule.
I'll figure something out.
All right. Well, let's go Rangers tonight. I got to
All right,
ready
Cutsy.
for my pregame ritual that I do, which is
All right, Cutsy.
not watch the game.
I gotta go to my group now. So
Okay. Have a good
All
night
right.
and say hello
All
to
right.
everybody.
thank you.
Bye.
Out.
Bye.
All right, that wraps it up. A fantastic, absolutely fantastic, stellar.
I like what I said. I got to do my pregame ritual and not watch the game.
Watch the game.
No, I will be watching. I have to. Petey, thanks for coming to the room like a half hour ago. I'm just acknowledging you.
Schedule wise, the Rangers play today. They play Thursday. They play Friday. I'm sorry. They play Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. So how about, Eddie, we come back Monday for our big send
Oh,
off.
boy. I hear the
Grand
music now.
finale.
I can hear it. I've heard it many years.
We'll see if Mr. Nelson is available.
Oh, boy.
Sound good? Monday night, 7 o'clock.
Sounds good, brother. I'll see you there.
All right. Thanks to everybody for being here. We love you. We'll get this uploaded tomorrow for you guys. Enjoy the game. Good night, everybody.
Let's go, Rangers. Beat those Caps.